I want to say.
All right, so this is our little introduction to Bash and how it works. I'll give a little overview. We'll talk about some escape characters. This came out of some questions that we were talking to Julian about last night. So yeah, let's get started. Starts with the OS.
Can I ask you to be closer to the mic? Is the microphone this way?
I think it's on, yes.
Oh, it's on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So am I okay?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I could take the microphone if you want. I could, like, you can mute yourself. I'll unmute myself. All right.
Check.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So starts with the OS. And
That's so weird. I definitely graduated high school before this was a thing.
Yeah.
we'll start with the OS. And in OS, we have a terminal. And with the terminal,
So the camera filming in head is here, so you have to make sure the camera sees the head.
sees the pen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm skewering it with my hand. Is that the
Yeah.
issue? All right. And the terminal is what runs Bash. Now, when you open Bash, it's going to give you your standard $, and it is a command shell. And what that means is it takes input from you, the user, and talks directly to the OS. That's what a command shell does. There are lots of options. There are even options inside the machines we have. You can open up other shells, but Bash is the one that we've been working with so far. What happens when you give it a command? So we'll take a standard ls command with two directories. So directory 1 and directory 2. What's going to happen is Bash will go through these characters and evaluate them. So it simply looks at the first letter and says, hey, that's a letter. Looks at the second one, that's another letter, well, a character. Spaces are special characters. So the space, it says, okay, that's a word there. And then it moves down. It looks at the directory. It recognizes it's a directory by the fact that it has a slash. So it works its way down. Another space, so that's a second word. Works its way down. Okay, it's got a slash. It's another directory. So it's got 3 words. Basically, then it turns this information over to ls. So ls is a program that runs inside Bash. So ls will take this info and do what ls does. ls executes. It lists out the files from directory 1 and directory 2. We've all seen that. That's worked for us repeatedly here. Now, it gets a little more complicated when you start to add.
So William, so
Yes.
to rephrase this, Bash does not understand that this is a directory and this is a directory.
No. Linux understands that these are directories. This character is a special character for Linux, but not for Bash and not for ls. And we'll get into that more. That's where we're going next. So,
Question.
yes.
So would the slash be like defining where the folder's located? So like it would take you back to the root in that situation? Or if you didn't have the slash, would it still recognize it's a directory?
Yeah.
You didn't have the slash? I don't think so. I think the slash is what tells Linux to treat it as a directory. I'm on kind of thin ice there. But
Okay, there's a little mix up.
okay.
So, okay, let me try to.
Yes.
No, are you sure?
Oh.
Yeah, alright. So, this is a prompt, and it tells you that Bash is running and is waiting for a command. Okay? So that's going to be your command line. Okay, when you run ls 01 02, then what Bash is going to do is going to go through everything you typed, look for special characters, do something about it, and then run the first program with those arguments. At this stage, Bash doesn't care about what this is and what this is. He doesn't know, he doesn't care. ls will do something about it, but Bash doesn't care about it. Okay? It doesn't matter if it's a slash or if it's not a slash. It's just an argument. It could be anything. It could be something wrong, but ls will not understand. Bash doesn't care. Bash will take the first word, try to execute this as a program, and then pass all those arguments, right? And what William was telling you is that Bash has a special set of characters. Space is one of them, and it means this is the end of a word and maybe the beginning of another one. Okay? So Bash goes through every character. L is not a special character. S is not a special character. There is a space. This is a special character. It means that this is the end of the word that I was going through before. So now in his memory he has, okay, I have ls. And the first argument of a shell is a program, so he knows he has to run ls. Now I'm not going to go through the path stuff and the alias stuff and etc. Just assume that he knows where it is, and now he knows how to execute it, okay? But he hasn't finished it yet, right? So now he's going through D, I, or 1, nothing special, and then space again. This is a special character for Bash. And then say, okay, this is the end of the word, so that's the first argument I'm going to pass to ls when I'm going to run ls. And then same thing here, and then end of the string. This is the second argument. I'm going to go and pass to ls. And then ls will run. And you want to?
I was going to move on to our second example. Are you cool with that, or are you going to keep on the directories?
No, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so so let's look a little closer at how the special characters work. We'll go back to our ls command, and we're going to add a -a. So we want to see all our characters now, or all our results, even the hidden ones. And so again, Bash evaluates. It's a character, a special character, the space, so it means this is a word. This dash isn't anything special to Bash. So Bash just keeps going. This is a character, and then the end. So Bash has two words, and it turns over control now to ls. So ls runs, and then ls runs because it's the first word. So Bash says, okay, first word in the system is my program. It goes through the file structure, finds the proper program, and executes it. ls then evaluates the other words. So in this case, ls is going to look at -a. The dash is a special character to ls. It's nothing special to Bash, but Bash has now turned over control to ls. And to ls, the dash is an option. And the option in this case, it says, oh, it's an option. What's the option? The option is A, so show everything, even hidden files. So what this is telling you is Bash has special characters, but then the programs under Bash also have special characters, and they're not necessarily the same. So another example, oh, and then at the end of this process, ls turns everything back over to Bash, and you get your prompt. So something else you'll see, let's do ls again, and this time we'll do -a. So let's go through the process again. Bash evaluates character, but not a special one, non-special character, special character space, so we've got a word, nothing special to Bash, nothing special to Bash, oh, special character space, so second word, nothing special, and the end. So we got three words. First word, ls, it knows that's the program, executes the program, and the program looks at this, and it looks at this. First thing it does, it looks at the dash and says, oh, that's an option, so I need to find my option in my little list of options. And the second one, the second dash in this scenario means don't take anything after me as an option. Take it as a text string. So in this situation, ls moves past this and says nothing after this is an option, it's just text. And it says, let's look for something that is called -a. It's not going to evaluate this as an option. So it'll list the files from a location called -a. I think I got it. Any questions? John?
So the ls and all of its brothers and sisters, they live on Linux, right? Not in Bash. They're part of Linux.
Yeah, it's executed by Bash. They're executed by bash, but they're physically located. I mean, they're
On the file.
I'm gonna show you.
yeah, they're in the file structure.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
wanted to
She's
show
gonna talk
you.
about that. Sorry, I jumped ahead.
No, it's
Yeah, Electro will address that pretty directly. But yeah, they're part of. It's fair to say they're part of Linux executed by bash. Is that the best way to phrase that?
I mean, in theory, you could have a Linux system without ls. In theory. I don't think you'll find one, but
Okay. So they live in the file structure. They're a thing in a place.
They're living in the database, not the shell.
I think that's.
on the file system.
It's a file. LS is a file.
Alright.
ls is a program is a file.
Right, but if I were to install Linux on my machine, it would have ls in it. If I were to install bash, that would not have ls in it, right?
Oh,
Yeah, bash is a program.
Yeah,
It's
bash
the
is
same
a
status as
program,
ls.
the same way ls.
It's also a program. They're both on the file system. as files.
Okay. So it's kind of arbitrary. They're just files.
They're just files. It's not arbitrary. It's files all the time.
But could we consider them since, well, like they're, in one sense they're programs, but to bash, they're programs that run, but they're also commands they recognize, so could we consider them bash commands?
So bash.
I mean, technically, they're programs that bash is running. So,
They're
I
just
mean, that's
commands
how I
that
think
bash
of it.
runs.
Yeah, but I
You
don't
can
know
run them
technically
with
that's
something
true.
else than that.
So the command
Yeah.
is, so this is a program, and this whole line is a command. You see the difference?
Yeah, like something you enter into the prompt, right?
Yeah. So this is a command, this is a program, this is an option, this is an option.
The first part of that just tells bash what program will recognize the rest of the commands in the line.
Okay, maybe you got confused, because I was confused at the beginning, because when we learned Linux, we learned that ls is a command, and then we learned that in bash it's not a command, but a program.
So
I think
ls
it's about,
is a command.
so
ls-a is a command.
Yeah.
ls-a is a command. The ls alone is also a command.
also a
You just
command.
didn't give it any option, but
In
it's
the,
like a
in the
command.
context of bash, ls is a command, because this is the command line. Anything you write here and then you press enter is a command.
yeah.
So if you type only ls, it's a command. It's also a program.
So it's both a
ls is your
program
command.
and a command. Okay.
ls is always a program. ls is not a command, but in the context of bash,
You can make it a
it
command.
can be a command. The program, so this is a command, this is a text. ls itself is a program.
So it's a command to run a program.
Yes. You type the command
This
which
is a
will run the
command to
program.
run the program ls.
Okay.
Okay?
I just wanted to bring up another sort of, well, like a language thing. So we call these options, but we've also discussed them as arguments. So are those, I just sort of understand those as the same in this context, but are there other contexts where they are different?
So, I'm
So
just-
like the -a, that is an option of the ls program, or in this case, command.
Yes.
It's also an argument.
Yes, this is an option passed as an argument to ls.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just wanted to bring up that we're calling it by two different names, and in
Yes,
this case it
depending on
means.
context, yeah.
Because like ls-dir is an argument
To ls.
to
Mhm.
ls,
Mhm.
but it's not an option. A is an option.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Dash A is also an argument, which is a special one because there's a special character in the context of ls because there's a dash,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Which makes it an option.
which makes it an option.
Another way people are calling option is flags. Sometimes it can happen people will say flags instead of option. It's
Mhm.
another
Oh,
way
you
of
will
saying
see
it.
that word too, yeah.
Yeah.
Option and flag is the same thing though.
Yeah.
And can an option be an argument?
Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
In
This
this
one
case,
is.
this is, oh, okay, so this is passed as an argument to ls.
Yeah.
Okay, actually. Here, ls-a-dir, there are two arguments and one option.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Is the option and a and are both arguments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Um,
And to be strictly, yeah, to be strictly true, actually the name of the program will also be passed as an argument to the program itself.
It's okay.
In this case.
People are far, so.
oh, okay, yeah.
But forget
See
about
that later. Yeah, we'll see that later.
I was just gonna ask, like, wouldn't it be, couldn't we think of it like when we use a compiler, like we're using bash as well to write CC and then the pass in arguments. So CC would be actually the compiler, the program. Wouldn't it be easy to think of it like that? Like, there's some.
If you talk right now about compiler, that is going to help everybody.
Right.
But CC in this case would be the compiler, so yeah, it's going to be the program which is run by bash.
Other questions? John?
Hopefully I'm used it my allotment. But in the file system, does it typically always follow that pattern where you've got a root and then you've got user / in my case 44, and that's the user root? So are there two different roots, or how do we think about that?
Okay, let's talk about it after. Let
Okay.
them finish and then I answer the question. Okay.
Okay.